Yo, what is goody? I just wanted to talk about suffering from an identity crisis. I used to be somebody who was suffering from an identity crisis, and maybe you who are watching this video are also somebody who's suffering from an identity crisis. I just want to tell you it's okay. It's okay not to understand or know where you're at in life or what you want to do. You know, an identity crisis is when you start questioning yourself, you start questioning your life, you start questioning who you are. And from my experience, I was somebody who was suffering from an identity crisis because of a bad relationship I had. In this relationship, I wasn't very mature, became extremely insecure. Unfortunately, I lost myself for a bit of time and did things that I shouldn't have done. For myself, I was somebody who got completely caught up on that, and I kind of attached to them and didn't let it go. And it really got to the point where it really affected me mentally, and I started to genuinely question who I was and what I was doing in life and who I was as a person. Am I a bad person because I did these things? You know, but people are going to make mistakes in life. We're going to be doing things in life that aren't always necessarily the best for us. We're going to be doing things and figuring things out at the same time, you know? So you're going to be making mistakes. There's going to be a time period where you do stuff and you're going to look back on it and you're going to be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Why the fuck did I do that? But at that present time, in that moment, you didn't know how to handle it. There's all these other emotions, all these other feelings. Eventually, I got past the identity crisis. But for the longest time, I would say probably I'd say maybe almost a year, I was suffering from it. And I just really questioned a lot of things about myself. My confidence was at a very low point. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. I was afraid of taking steps in any direction. I was just really upset. All I wish I could do was take back what I did, because I felt like I would never make a mistake like that, but it happened. And there's going to be times in your life where you make a mistake and you're going to want to take it back. But the worst thing you can do is dwell on that mistake, you know? I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. You might disagree, but I genuinely think everything happens for some sort of reason, whether you like it or not. So how I was able to get past this identity crisis was sharing with my friends and family what had happened, you know, being honest. Also digging deep and trying to find out who I was. And how I found that was by embracing change and trying new things, trying new experiences. I got to such a low point to where I questioned who I was, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't really want to do a lot of stuff, didn't really want to try a lot of stuff. But I was so caught up with this perception and fear that it prevented me from wanting to try new things, wanting to do stuff. And I kind of forgot about who I was and the type of person I was and who I was in life. And I struggled for a long time, but the way I was able to get past it was living as present as I could in the moment, not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, because I was so caught up on the mistake that I made that it would just continuously make me question who I was, question myself. And it sucked. It really sucked. And I wanted to just take back that mistake, but I couldn't. You know, the mistake happened. It was in the past. I wasn't able to take it back. And you just have to move on. So for anybody who's dwelling on being in an identity crisis right now, or dwelling on a mistake that they made that's making them question themselves, understand that, listen, you've made the mistake. You have to go. You can only go up from here. You can't go down. You can only go up from here. You've made the mistake. You can't take it back, and you've got to accept that. But you've got to embrace. You got to embrace new opportunity. You got to embrace change. You got to be willing to, seek new opportunities. You can't be afraid. And that's the only way that you're going to build up your confidence again. You got to do those things that built up your confidence. You got to push yourself and put yourself out there. That's the only way that you're going to find change. That would be my advice for anybody who is struggling with an identity crisis. Don't be afraid to tell your family, tell your friends, You know, they're just going to show you the potential you have, who you really are. And listen, like, you're going to make a million mistakes in life. And it's like, they don't define you, you know? Like, the mistakes you make, they don't define you. And you have to understand that, and you have to put that in your mind and get past it. But it's okay. It's okay if you're having an identity crisis. Don't worry. Shit happens. It's only for a small little part of your life. So don't even stress about it.